Welcome to Mariucci Arena for the Section 6AA Boys Hockey Championship. It's the Cretin Derham Hall Raiders, new to this section and fresh off an upset of top seed Benilde St. Margaret's, taking on the number 2 seed, the Wayzata Trojans, as the Trojans coming off a 5-3 win over Edina in the semifinals. Hi again, MJ Wilcox along with Dan Ficken. And Dan, not necessarily the matchup that most would have expected coming into this championship game. Cretin's kind of the mystery team. Even they're not sure exactly how they wound up on this side of the river for sections, but they came out and played a great game, and they're a team that started very slow this year, but have definitely picked it up late.
Oh, they really have. I mean, they've done a great job coming in here, and this is probably a section they didn't want nothing to do with. And holy buckets, we were talking about kicking the door down and letting know everybody you're here. You took on an undefeated team. So the bad part of this for the teams in this, they haven't seen much of this. They don't know what's coming here, and it could be a little scary. And they've put together a good little winning streak. They've won 5 of their last 6 games coming into sections and putting on a pretty good show. It'll be interesting to see what they look like.
Wayzata, as we said, defeating Edina, not just defeating Edina, but the 4th win of the season over the Hornets the other night. Played a solid game, and it was kind of a typical Wayzata game, I thought, Dan, where they, all their lines played pretty well. They had a pretty consistent game. They got to the net. They were good down low with the puck, and they're not necessarily a team that's going to dazzle you, maybe like a Benilde could, but they've got a very solid top-to-bottom 20-man lineup.
Well, this ain't rocket science type team. They've got speed, they got size, they play a good system, they stay within the system, they make it work. There isn't a superstar on this team. You can tell by the balanced scoring that they've gotten all over the place. Their top 3 scorers barely made a move in the sections here. It's been the second line, the third line, the fourth line that have contributed. That's a sign of a good balanced team with good goaltending. But they're going to come at you, which means they can bring a lot of energy with you at every shift, and including the third period, especially the third period.
Well, we've picked out a couple of key players to keep an eye on in this evening's contest here. Starting with the Raiders, and Ryan Smith will be centering their first line, playing right wing on their first line this evening, and got 30 points on the season, and one of the captains. And that they're a program with a lot of pride, much like Wayzata, where they haven't made a ton of state tournament appearances, but they've always been pretty good and been in a lot of section finals. Yeah. And Ryan's played well in the regular season and in the postseason.
Well, it's not a storied program, but it's a very solid program. They won a state championship, I think, in 2006. Done a good job. And Ryan, I was going to say, he's got pretty good size to him, pretty good hands. He's got a nice balanced scoring. In 26 games played, 12 and 18, 30 points. Has had a nice job in the sections and stayed out of the box. Been a good, consistent leader. Does it well.
And for Wayzata, we're going to pick out a sophomore who had a really nice game, I thought, against Edina the other night. Grant Anderson moved the puck well. You see, he can get involved in the play. And, a guy who's a real up-and-comer, but he's already there in a lot of ways for this program.
Remarkable thing about him is you think a sophomore defenseman kind of stay home, play defense, Oh, no, he's really stepped up his game. He's carrying the puck. He's rushing it out of trouble, really getting involved in the offensive flow. He's gotten a goal and 3 assists here just in the sections alone. So he's done a remarkable job, and it's something they can build the future on.
We will see who will head to the state AA tournament tonight. It's the Section 6AA Championship. The Raiders from Cretin Derham Hall and the Trojans from Wayzata. We'll drop the puck next here at Mariucci Arena.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
And welcome back here to the home of the Golden Gophers, Mariucci Arena, as Cretin, Derham Hall, and Wayzata get set to battle here for the Section 6 AA Championship. Wayzata advancing by beating Armstrong Cooper in the quarterfinals, and then Edina in the semis. And Cretin, Derham Hall, victories over Hopkins, and then of course we said the big one over Benilde St. Margaret's, and they know they're in for a tough test here tonight, certainly, and seen, you catching up quickly on the other opponent and see what they have a little bit. They know Wayzata is one of the better teams that they'll face all season long, but they obviously prove that they can come out and beat a very good hockey team the other day, and they're going to give it a shot here right now. And they're kind of feeling that nothing to lose kind of thing too, with so many early losses this year and whatnot.
Well, when you get a win like they got on Saturday, they can say, why not us? That's a very easy statement for them to make and believe. So we'll see how they do tonight against the Trojans.
And we are underway. Matt Nelson wins the draw for Wayzata. Hank Sorensen with it in his defensive zone. Sorensen gets to the red line and will try and dump it in. It comes back, and now Nelson gets it to Sorensen. Put behind the net. Billy Duma's pass then taken away, but they cannot get it out. An opportunity for Wayzata off the turnover, but off the skate there to defenseman Hugo Hartnell getting back into the play there for Cretin, but Wayzata dangerous again. Duma playing it back behind. Got away from Luke Patterson. Grabbed up there by Ryan Smith, back to help out defensively here for the Raiders. Pretty good opening shift for Wayzata. Puck dumped into the Trojan zone. Cretin trying to hurry up and finish a change here as Wayzata comes back the other way with Sorensen. And the shot right on Mike Magnuson, the junior, making the stop for the Raiders. He's been solid for them all season long, and they feel good about what he can do for them between the pipes. You see his numbers, stopping 92% of his shots.
And he's maintained that through the sections, and he's been a solid backliner. By the way, Hank Sorensen got right in his face after he got that shot off, and a little earmark there. That's the way Mr. Sorensen is challenging Mr. Magnuson.
Mar Batra sending it back. Logan Lindstrand will toss it in. Magnuson back there to stop it, but Wayzata first to it. And the pass hit a skate. Behind the net it comes to Batra. Batra looking, puts it out high, but taken away by the Raiders, and back they come the other way with Joseph Gimberlin. Alex Schilling playing it to the corner. Raiders able to keep it in deep. Lindstrand back to pick it up as Cretin looks to make a line change here. Now up to Batra up the left side. Batra to Tyler Stevens, who's at 6 assists already in the playoffs, but could not get around the defenseman there, Jacob Radenbaugh.
Radenbaugh with a nice stand-up play there. Just took the puck right off the stick. We're going to have a penalty here.
It's going to go against Wayzata, probably an interference, I would guess, or a hold, actually. And so the Raiders will get their first power play of the game as Justin Weinberg was coming hard up the right wing side. Tried to squeeze between the boards and Noah Furman, and we get the penalty taken by the Trojans there. So
you see Noah Furman coming in and not quite getting in front of him quick enough and kind of grabbed him and turned him. And that'll get you a holding call every time. Not where the Trojans wanted to be here. Started out, had a good start, and all of a sudden they got a issue. Their penalty kill kind of dropped a little bit, Jay, during the sections. They went from 83% to 75% during the sections, so something to keep an eye on. You want to be above 80% here, especially in big-time games and big-time sections like this.
Mark Senden facing off. Smith wins it, though, for the Raiders. They get their power play set up. Back out, Charlie Haugen playing catch there with Shane Furlong. Haugen whip it the other way. And a tip by Smith, and Schilling kicks out the right leg. Smith redirecting that one in the slot. Schilling had enough time, though, to make a little adjustment and get to it. Here's another tip attempt, but that one goes wide of the mark. Back across to the point. Here's a redirection of the goal. Smith tips it in off the point shot from Charlie Haugen, and Cretin is on the board first.
Well, you got a hot team, and you give them an opportunity. and they cash in. I'll be aware of that. And the Raiders just a great penalty or a great power play there. Jay Muda very well got it around. And again, you see the tip in Ryan Smith. There's his third tip in on that power play, and buries it, gives them a 1-0 lead. So we'll see how the Wayzata Trojans respond here now. Some domination. They need to get some shots on net, and here we go.
Oh, great chance there right out front, but Nelson is denied, as coming out to challenge was Magnuson. That was really just man on man there, one-on-one. He was about 10 feet away, and Magnuson, though, able to make the stop.
Well, Magnuson got out there when he was wide open and just challenged him big time. Cut down his angle really quickly, and really didn't get much to shoot at. Ended up in his stomach, and he, of course, held on to it, gave up no rebound.
So the Raiders strike early. Wayzata had a pretty solid first shift, though. I think they're confident they'll get chances in that one. I think hit the pipe off Mark Sendon's shot. Check thrown behind the net here, and first to it now is Weinberg, but he takes a hit. Sendon up with it. Flipped out front there by Colin Schmidt, but that one broken up. Now Schmidt getting the pass away. Wayzata buzzing in front again. Now I've tried to spring him with a long pass there, but Jack Carlson, the interception for Wayzata. Yes, they fell down early 1-0, but I'm getting the feeling Wayzata is going to be able to create some chances in this game, Dan.
I agree with you. Yes, they will. It's, just one of those things that, beware the areas where you can let the Raiders back in the game, and that's one of them. And it is made very clear. You're going to have to stay out of the box against these guys. That's a pretty good power play.
Haugen trying to get that puck in deep. It's intercepted, but then re-intercepted there nicely by Hugo Hartnell for Cretin Durham Hall. And now Hank Sorensen leading the rush up. Of course, an Olympic-sized rink here at Mariucci, which Wayzata plays at during the regular season. And Wayzata not pleased with this one. The backup goaltender got a piece of Sorensen on the way by, and I'm wondering if there's going to be a penalty here. I think there should be, unless I didn't see that one right, as it looked like he stuck out the glove when Sorensen was on the way by and knocked him down. And yes, there is going to be a penalty on the Raiders.
Yeah. That's an odd one. I haven't seen one of those in a long time, although I have seen it before. Sometimes they
in Slapshot, I remember seeing something like that, but.
Well, it could be a situation, too, where his glove was hanging over the edge, and as Sorensen went by, he tried to pull it back in and didn't quite catch him quick enough, and it caught him.
Let's watch this here. Sorensen dumps the puck in, and right there.
Oh.
Yeah, he stuck out the glove, and I think it's a good call. They saw it.
Now, let's go back to the first shot when Hank Sorensen took a shot on Mike Magnuson, went right into his grill. Maybe that was the backup goalie, backing up the starting goalie.
So Wayzata gets a power play here as they try and answer the Cretin power play goal. And I was wondering at first, it was such a subtle thing, did they see it? But they did. And we could see the referee explaining to Smith, who was serving the penalty, of course, for his teammate, the backup goalie there, Weber, that, he was explaining and demonstrating with his arm what he did, and it was right. There's a shot by Sorensen, and Magnuson will snare that one.
Well, both teams starting out well tonight on their power plays, controlling it, moving the puck around, creating some chances here. I don't see anybody in front of the net for the Trojans, though, trying to get a tip in.
They were pretty good at that the other day. Got at least one of their goals off the tip here. Schmidt turning, firing. Oh boy, McMahon fighting that, or excuse me, Magnuson fighting that one off as it was coming at his mask, and he just got the glove up to, natural reaction. You just got to protect your face there a little bit. There's Pat O'Leary, the Trojans head coach. Coached his team to a section championship in 2013. Sorensen shooting. Where is it? Magnuson looking behind him. It was under that leg pad. And a face-off coming up. But Wayzata pumping a few shots on net here. And, not necessarily real high-scoring teams overall, but I'm just getting the impression that we're going to see a lot of chances in this game.
Well, they're playing on a big ice surface, which works well to the Trojans type of game. They play on one all the time. I'm not sure if Cretin's ready for that, but they know how to spread it out. They know how to play the angles on this, so I would expect they're going to get a few more chances than Cretin Derham Hall.
Out front, Stevens shooting. Magnuson coming out to make a stop right there. Duma controlling it. 50 seconds to go in the power play. Duma working from behind the net. They'll come back to Kubinski at the point. Gets a return pass. Swinging around now for Carlson, and here's Griffin Ness putting it down low. Stevens tried to center it and broken up. Nice keep in though by Carlson. Kubinski didn't get much of that one. However, it still winds up with Stevens, and another try off the outside of the goalpost. And the Raiders finally get it out and head off for a change as a broken stick over in front of the Raiders bench went flying. 10 seconds in the man advantage. Duma will sling it into the corner here for Wayzata. Ness got to it first, got it over to Stevens. Ness to Stevens. Penalty time is over. Smith is out of the box for Cretin. And he will take the pass coming into the zone. Here's Smith. Fakes and then lost it as he tried to pull it back to tee it up. Behind the net, Smith tried to center there, and it's intercepted and thrown out by the Trojans. This is going to be an icing call here against Wayzata, so we will come back into the Wayzata zone here. 10:32 to go in the first. Cretin Derham Hall leading Wayzata 1-0 here in this Section 6AA championship. There's a look at Jim O'Neill, longtime coach in the Raiders hockey and baseball programs. 36 years with the hockey program in various. He said, I've been an assistant, a head coach, and now co-head coach with Charlie Bosco. So he's seen a lot of it, and they've, like we said, been on the doorstep a lot of times. 9 times losing in section finals, 3 times winning. But just one of those programs that's been solid, but maybe a little overlooked at times because they've had some good neighbors too. Here's a shot. Oh, and a nice stop there by Magnuson, kicking out. He looks sharp.
He does look sharp, and again, I'm talking, they got to get somebody in front of him to disturb him a little bit. He's gobbling up everything that's shot in front of him, I mean from 10 feet out.
Batra behind the net here for Wayzata. Slipping it over there. Dylan Riley behind the net. And put out front. Here's a shot and a goal. Wayzata's on the board.
Jay, this line has got a little something going. They were really good against Edina and put the puck in the net. Tonight they open up again and get the first one for the Trojans here. And
Andrew Urban finishing it off here for Wayzata as he takes the feed right there, and it deflects in as Dylan Riley set him up. So Urban, first goal of the season. No, not a bad time to get it here at Mariucci Arena Section Championship, right?
Absolutely, step up to the plate here. As again, it's been the unsung guys that have really stepped up for the Trojans. Of course, I'm thinking you want to be playing on Dylan Riley's line. He's got 6 points, 2 goals, and that was his 5th assist now, so that's actually 7 points. Playing very, very well. He seems to ignite that line and everybody around him. Sendin wins that loose puck and put it right out front, and then it bounces out. Yeah, Pat O'Leary said we got about 15 shifts in for our 4th line against Edina. That's almost unheard of for most teams. Riley will get the lone assist on the goal at 7:09. Again, the first of the season. And there's a look at Charlie Bosco, the other co-head coach for the Raiders from Cretin Derham Hall. So they took the early lead. Now they've seen Wayzata tie it up. Wayzata 10-3 shots advantage early on. Although the Raiders struck early on that power play. Right, we're talking two very contrasting styles here. Wayzata has a tendency to be in your face, a big, strong, physical team that'll take it to you. Coach O'Leary said we want to work behind the opposition's net, which they've done. But Cretin Derham Hall, I tell you what, they're sneaky dangerous. All of a sudden, they'll get down there, and all of a sudden, they're creating an opportunity. And, where did these guys come from? So it'll be interesting to see how this contrast works throughout all 3 periods.
Tipped a little too far for Urban. Dumped back to the Wayzata line, and they regroup. Now Lindstrand up with it. And he will chip that puck in. Haugen has it knocked away briefly, but gets it back here for the Raiders. Pass ahead and tipped and offside, is unable to hold up his momentum with Shane Furlong after that puck got slowed down.
Well, there you go. Taking advantage of this big ice. They're figuring out, they're stretching it. They got two wings, or at least one wing, always out in the neutral zone when they get control of the puck, pushing Wayzata's D back and out so they can't keep the pressure on and creating an opportunity. That would have been a 2-on-1 if he would have caught that clean.
Nelson facing off with Jack Yannick, the top line centerman for the Raiders, and this puck dumped on in by Carlson, and a bounce goes off the side of the net. And tipped out. A chance now on the rush here for the Raiders. Yannick up with it, 2-on-2, and Hank Sorensen won that battle. But Cretin right back to it. Centering pass, picked off. Patterson to Duma, 3-on-2 here for Wayzata. Drop pass, here's a shot. It's off Sorensen's leg, and then his rebound just wide. Sorensen, a defenseman who's never shy about jumping up in the play, and that time almost got it in on that rebound. There's an interception by Duma. Put it across. Oh, and a nice kick save, if you will, by the defenseman. And then rush back the other way with Yannick. Shallow angle there, and Schilling able to direct that one away with the arm. Now a follow-up try, and Schilling has to make a stop there. As coming in to follow was Gleason, and Gleason and Sorensen looking at each other there.
You could look at that first opportunity by the Trojans. They're right on the doorstep. And Magnuson's, I'll tell you what, he's playing hockey tonight. And then, of course, Cretin Hall comes right back down with Yannick and creates an opportunity with Gleason. And, you know, bing, bang, boom.
Hard to tell on that replay, but I'm not so sure that shot didn't have a pretty good chance to go in the initial shot, but it hit Sorensen's leg. And here come the Raiders with an opportunity right to the net, and Schilling makes the stop, robbing Kimberlin. And now right back the other way we come. 3-on-3, centering pass there, open net, and they hit the pipe. Magnuson was down, and the follow-up try was right off the pipe. Now Stevens, here's Batra. And picked off there by the Raiders and sent out to center. Gimberlin up with it. Loses it though to Kubinski. Across. Batra has Stevens. Oh, just about snuck it by, but Hartnell had a good stick there. Gimberlin to the corner. Turnaround try there is off a shin pad. Following up though is the defenseman Riley Wild coming in. And that one thrown all the way across the slot. And it gets away there at the blue line as John Wolf had to regroup. And this back pass comes right into Magnuson. Wild leaving it around, getting it for Weinberg. And took a check, lost it. Schmidt had it briefly, but the Raiders come away with it now with Furlong. Right wing here to Ryan Jowett. Across, an opportunity. Oh, and Schilling makes a dynamite save right there. And here's a redirection right on net. Schilling another stop. Boy, both goalies are being tested, to say the least, here in this first period.
I just love the Raiders. I mean, Jay, every shot that's come out from the point has been tipped. I mean, there has not been one that's been a straight shot. Schilling has been challenged tremendously here, trying to make some saves, and he's getting those leg pads out big time. But look at this opportunity here coming in deep.
Boy, I'm not so sure that couldn't have been a hook right there. And then the back check here. Watch the follow-up, hits the pipe.
Yep.
On the backhand.
Yeah, I think in a couple of rushes both ways there could have been penalties too by the D, who were plainly beaten. And this isn't kind of what I expected, and I'm kind of enjoying this quite a bit. I think the Raiders are not backing down one bit.
More wide open, more end-to-end maybe than I was expecting a little bit here.
Yeah.
Both teams getting some definite chances, and Schilling and Magnuson have shown why they're got their teams this far too. Here's Nelson dropping it over. Oh, and Duma's open the shot. Magnuson the stop. And then a long rebound, but Hartnell gets there first for Cretin. Hartnell, the defenseman, got it into the zone, and then taken away from him. Here's Anderson. Sending it back out to center. Cal Peterson dropping it back in. Ooh, and there's a giveaway. However, the Raiders We're offside.
Ooh.
Kubinski up with it now for Wayzata. Anderson's pass, a little behind Duma, but he gets it and throws it in, and he'll head off on a change. So they finish this line change. Kubinski trying to pinch in and keep that puck alive in the offensive zone. Now they have to touch up. Thrown back into the Raiders zone. Andrew Smallage back to get it. Radenbaugh getting it up the right side, but too far and sent right back in. Smallage controlling here for Cretin Derham Hall. 4:40 to go in the first period. 1-1 our score in the Section 6AA Championship. Here's Batra taking it away for Wayzata. Batra going to the net, and that one deflecting wide. Now Sorensen had to play it behind, but that one's intercepted. And near takeaway there as Dylan Riley stepped up aggressively. Now Smallage banking it ahead. Interception, and Schmidt comes away with it for the Trojans. Now they get it to Senden right up the middle. Here's Mark Senden, the North Dakota recruit. Fights off a check, but then just overskated it. Schmidt, though, follows up. Carlson was calling for it at the top of the circle, but Schmidt never just could quite get control back.
Well, he did the right thing, though. He got it down deep, and he controlled it at least so they couldn't get it.
Here's Schmidt. Weak side pass, but it's broken up there by Jowett. And back out into the Wayzata zone here as regrouping is Greninger to pick it up, who had a goal the other night. The go-ahead goal, in fact, for the Trojans on a breakaway. Flips that one in, gives chase himself. Relayed back around. Senden is there first for Wayzata, but lost control. And they'll flip it back in as Charlie Haugen picks it up for the Raiders. Looking to Weinberg, and it's too far, and Sorensen has it for Wayzata. Sorensen will give it across to Lindstrand. Lindstrand gets to center and dumps that puck in. However, was not over the center line. It's an icing call against Wayzata.
Wow.
So we'll come back. They don't give them the quite the benefit of the doubt on when you're close. Sometimes you get that, but not guaranteed.
Well, that on a big sheet too, especially. Should have plenty of room to get it across the line there. That's you just don't want to give them face-offs in your zone. But
Anderson takes a check. Smith tried to bring it out front for the Raiders. He has their goal on a nice deflection on a power play. Here comes Nelson. He has Patterson with him. Flips it to the corner. And a long breakout pass is tipped. It'll flutter towards Schilling, and it's going to be icing against the Raiders. Good recognition by Schilling that was an icing coming, and just watched it go. So offensive zone draw for the Trojans with 2:29 to play in a very spirited opening period.
both teams giving and taking, and just a heck of a good show by the goalies, Jay. They've both been spectacular and making some unbelievable saves here. This could easily be a 4-3, 5-4 game right now.
And I don't think that's an exaggeration to say that, they've made a couple, you ask for the routine saves and then steal a couple, and they've both done that. Here it comes out front, shot, just over the top of the net by Riley. Now here comes Cretin Derham Hall with the rush back the other way. They toss it in. Carlson there first, hammers it around. Batra took a check. Thrown back to the Wayzata line, picked up here by Kubinski. He will lead the rush into the zone here for Wayzata, the defenseman Colin Kubinski. Pass back off a skate. Batra puts it in the corner. And then intercepted there and around the horn as they reverse it. Haugen. Nice step up to keep that puck in. And then a pass to an open wing, but Peterson is there first as Wayzata was finishing a change. Peterson's shot deflected wide by Kubinski. Carlson gets to it for Wayzata. Can't get it around the forechecking forward though, Jack English. And freed up behind the net. Carlson trying to sidestep a hit, but he goes down. He keeps possession though. And now gets the pass over left wing side to Greninger. Greninger flips that puck into the corner. Schmidt going after it, throws a check, then Greninger throws a check, but it comes free to a Raider, and they get their breakout started. Pass, though, too far. Under a minute to play now in the first period. It's flown by. It's 1-1. Cretin striking early on a power play. Wayzata answering about 5 minutes later. Greninger into the offensive zone. Ooh, and put that one. He was really looking for a tip.
Yep.
But it wound up being a kind of a sneaky shot, and Magnuson kicked it out. Across here to Hank Sorensen. Sorensen gains the blue line now, fires, and Magnuson with the glove catch there for Cretin Derham Hall with 34.7 to play in period number 1.
Well, good puck moving back and forth. I've been surprised at how well Cretin Derham Hall has been able to spread the ice and really north and south and east and west against, a pretty defensively disciplined Wayzata team as we watch them throughout the year. Don't let many teams get away with that. It usually means you got to go side to side, but Cretin Derham Hall's found some holes in that defense and exploited them.
Nelson behind the net for Duma. Spins around. Duma looking out front. He'll drop it to Carlson. Carlson shooting and save, but he couldn't control it, and Magnuson fought that one off. Back out to the point. That one's blocked. Under 10 seconds to play in the period. Wayzata trying to get one late. Pass out front. Tipped away, and finally it'll squeeze out of the zone. And they're going to run out of time before a shot attempt here. And Wayzata not happy that Yannick took that shot after the buzzer there. But nothing further to come of that. We have played one period here at Mariucci Arena. Our score, Cretin Derham Hall 1, Wayzata 1. We'll have first period highlights and then our second period up next on 12 Sports. The point from Charlie Haugen is on the board for
like having another person inside your head. It kind of built this wall around me.
The main thing that we needed was hope.
Your age, your gender, your ethnicity. Eating disorders don't discriminate. They can strike anyone. The National Eating Disorders Association has the information and resources to steer people and their families toward the road to recovery.
Call or visit the NEDA website today for help and hope.
Hey, going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you! Come look at Mr. Feather. Look what I have. Mr. Bird, remember? Bark, bark, bark. We're just playing. We're just playing on trying to get you out of here.
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Welcome back here to Mariucci Arena, and thanks for joining us for 6AA Boys Hockey on 12 Sports, the championship game here at Cretin Derham Hall and Wayzata, tied up at a goal apiece after one as we check out our first period highlights. And it was an exciting first period, no doubt about it. Some good scoring chances. The goalies were sharp. Here's Cretin moving it around on the power play. Haugen the shot, Smith the deflection. And as Dan pointed out at the time, that was about their second or third good tip on that power play. That one finally found the net just a couple minutes in, 2.5 in. Wayzata on the rush, the shot knocked down, the rebound from Sorensen goes just wide. Magnuson was busy in that first period, and he was good in that first period. And Schilling had some big stops as well. There was one on a rush that I thought maybe could have been a hook, but they didn't call it. And then more chances back the other way for Wayzata as Riley puts it out front, and there it's knocked in by Andrew Urban, getting the only goal of the period for the Trojans, his first of the season. You see Wayzata 15 shots on goal in that first period. Number of great chances for both, Cretin capitalizing on their only power play. We will come back and drop the puck for period 2. The winner will head to the state tournament. For each, it would be the 4th appearance in school history.
This. My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
And across the way, a lot of Cretin Derham Hall fans. And again, it's a bit of an adjustment. This is just not the venue or the opposing team that they've been used to in hockey or sports in general. You know, just not what you would expect to see with the kind of western suburbs. But that's the way it wound up.
Who are these guys? I mean, you know, and then they go and they knock off an undefeated team. But yeah, it seems like a weird fit, you know, and I'm sure that the coaches of Cretin Derham Hall are going, what? So I don't know. Maybe some great rivalries will grow out of this. Who knows? If they had to change it up a little bit. Unfortunately, I think CDH was the team that was the odd man out.
Off the draw, Wayzata wins it. We're underway in period number 2. Penalty box is empty, and both teams, I'm sure, kind of taking a deep breath after that first period. There was a lot of end-to-end and a lot of chances, and then 1 goal each and some great goaltending. Solid check thrown there by Nelson. Comes into the Wayzata zone here. Duma trying to dig that puck free from Smith. Raiders had it back briefly, and Wayzata can't get it out. Here's Smith sending it across. They look for the pass out front, but Nelson intercepts that. Banks it off the glass and out. And Patterson's going to get there first. Drop pass off a skate, then back. Here's Grant Anderson shooting, and off the glove there of Magnuson.
Wayzata doing a Cretin-esque type play there. Jeepers, nice passing.
At center ice, Duma up with that puck and throws it in. Wayzata changing up as Magnuson stops it behind the net. And a whiff on the pass. Batra trying to get to it, but just jabbed away there by Haugen. Kubinski sends it out front, but intercepted there for the Raiders by Peterson. And sent on into the Wayzata zone here. Sorensen will relay that puck back around. Batra is going to get there first. Batra chipping it ahead towards Stevens, but intercepted there. Kubinski leaving that pass. Hitting is picked up a little bit, at least in the first couple shifts here, and there's another solid check thrown at center. Both guys go down. Stevens trying to free this puck up, and does. Stevens trying to get it there to Riley, but the Raiders recover and cover up for each other there in the defensive zone.
Well, good support by the Raiders there, but the Trojans are coming out, starting to throw the body around. I think that was one of the main topics during the intermission here between them. This tends to be Wayzata's best period in section so far. They tend to do a lot of scoring and really put the heat on in this period. So we'll see if that continues.
Senden putting it down low, and then a swing and a miss at it there by Greninger. And the Raiders coming back the other way. They get a little tangled up though, and Anderson took it away, banks it ahead. Here's Mark Senden coming in on the rush. Senden shooting, and Magnuson a stop. And Senden went strong to the net there, trying to go right through Riley Wild.
Making a point. They did this at the beginning of the first period. They do it again here, going right to the goal, letting Magnuson know that we're going to be right here in your face. And Cretin's defense not liking it a lot.
Off the draw, knocked out right between the 2-point men and back into the Wayzata zone, where Grant Anderson will come back to pick it up here for the Trojans. Has it get away from him a little bit, but leaves it around now for Carlson. Carlson's pass knocked away at center there by Weinberg. Anderson intercepts right back across to Carlson. Here's Mark Senden. Carries it deep into the corner, trying to get that puck back. Senden took a bump, and it goes off and back into the corner. Relayed all the way around and out. Cretin's really having trouble breaking out cleanly in this period, and when they do, they've had to dump the puck.
But if you notice, Cretin is not putting a deep forecheck into the Wayzata zone. They're going to concede Wayzata zone and play 3/4 of the ice and put a trap in the middle. And that's interesting to do in a large rink. Those traps usually don't work there.
Sorensen trying to fight back into the play, and he does so cleanly enough. Yannick trying to go to the net. Smith. They're looking like we're not going to see quick whistles in this one. We had one penalty on each team, but they're going to let them play. So they're just offside as trying to take that shot was Yannick there. And so the Raiders look like they might have an opportunity for a little mini 2-on-1 there, but instead go offside.
They're creating those kind of plays there with that, the weak side wings coming in and flying guys out in the neutral zone quickly, and that's what they're hoping to create.
Yannick knocking it into the corner, and then Kubinski just jabbed it away from him just as he was at decision time where he was going to go with that puck. Back out to the point, and that one whistles wide. Kirby Rice throwing a check there, but the Trojans get it out at least to center. Yannick pounds it back in, and he will jump right off on a change. Kubinski starting back up ice here for Wayzata. Relayed on in by Matt Cassette, who had a goal against Edina in the semis. Urban able to take that puck away, got it to Batra. Batra, wraparound trying to jam that one in. And no goal. Magnuson holding the post for long enough. It may have eventually crossed the goal line, but the whistle had already sounded.
Well, Batra got that thing parked in there after he wrapped it around. He just started pushing it. Magnuson was having none of it. Absolutely none of it. Got his foot braced up good against that net. You see the changeover coming right here as Batra comes back around. He'll take it right to the front.
And you see he's saying, I'll just push your leg in there with the puck if needed. But the whistle had sounded by that point. So Raiders looking to break it out here. Up the middle comes Gimberlin, dropping the pass over right side. Here's a shot and a save by Schilling.
Boy, nothing's come easy for Schilling. He hasn't had too many that have not been a challenge for him. I tell you, the Raiders are getting shots and hard ones on him. Good setup here, a little opening.
Cal Peterson, the attempt here from the top of the circle.
Nice, good snapshot there.
And even on a high wrister like that, they were doing their best to get in front and, if not tip it, at least get in Schilling's vision. Now Patterson will float one into the corner here for Wayzata. Duma is there first. Holding off a check, but the Raiders do win that puck away. John Gleason carried it in. Sorensen tips it high in the air. Battle for it right at the blue line and tipped ahead to Patterson, although he's alone for the moment, and he'll hammer one wide. Sent back out to center and right back into the Cretin Derham Hall zone. Intercepted by Sorensen. Gets it to Nelson. Turns and puts it on toward the stick of Duma anyway. It hopped away. Raiders bring it right out front of their own net. And then intercepted here by Carlson. And that one, I think, hit somebody on the player bench here. So we get a whistle to stop play. 11:28 remaining in period number 2. A different period. Not nearly as much firepower, chances, and great saves, but still an interesting period.
Cretin's winning more with the one-on-one battles in their own defensive zone here, Jay. They're not allowing Wayzata to control it as much as they did in the first period.
Lindstrand back to pick it up here for Wayzata. Over to Anderson. Senden now dropping it to Schmidt. Schmidt up the right side and a blocker save there. Lindstrand gets to it for the Trojans and he'll play it down low towards Senden. Looking for the return here. Senden whips it back out high. Lindstrand giving it right back to Senden because he was being pressured. Now Schmidt. Schmidt trying to go weak side to Senden, but he just couldn't quite reach it. Anderson giving it to Senden right out front, but tipped away there from Greniger. Now a follow-up try. Ooh, and Magnuson has to really fight that one off. Raiders unable to clear. Puck still loose in the high slot. And they could not quite get it out. Now here's Senden. He has Schmidt with him. A diving play. Senden gets it back though. Raiders really reeling now, and Magnuson making a stop and will hang on. Boy, what a great shift for the Trojans right there.
Nice. 3 turnovers there. Just would not let the Raiders get the puck out of the zone and turning them into good offensive chances here. As I mentioned, Cretin was winning the one-on-one battles in their zone. That shifted. Did that hit the post?
Yeah, I thought Magnuson got a piece.
But just covering up guys. And, oh, my gosh.
Ooh, nearly a breakaway the other way there for Yannick. Now Smith, and a bad carom there off the wall. Kubinski will come up with it. Nice little flip pass, and they throw it back into the corner. Ness is there first. Griffin Ness putting it out high here to Cassette. Here's a shot. Magnuson a stick save, but a big rebound. Then another try. And Magnuson again with the stop. He's been forced to stay in the blue paint a little bit more, I think. And it's, you know, he was real aggressive in that first period, but they've got a little bit of traffic around him. Not really on that one, but then the follow-up try right there, he just had that one nearly got between his blocker and his body.
Well, Urban was there, and I think he might have got a little bit of a piece of it, but that's one of the first times that the Trojans have got somebody in front of him and bugged him, so he couldn't get out of that blue area.
Anderson shot denied. Wayzata leading in shots on goal, 23-9 in this game. Here's another attempt, that one blocked. Raiders again struggle to get it out of the zone. Stevens lost it, however. Now the pass ahead to Gimberlin. Gimberlin, a nice move to the outside, but Lindstrand doesn't panic and gets back and breaks it up. Gimberlin keeps the puck though again. Took a check and lost it, and here's Amar Batra up the left wing for Wayzata. Stevens going to the net. Batra shooting, pad save there. Ooh, and then two Wayzata guys collide, Stevens and Batra. Back the other way come the Raiders. Ooh, and zigging and zagging offside almost, and then thrown in.
Oh, got it back across the line. They should have blown it.
And that pass, was it tipped? Not quite. Patterson reaching for it. And it will be an icing call against Wayzata.
Well, Batra and Stevens got into a collision there. They might have been a little shaken up going back to the bench. We'll see how quickly they come back out.
Well, not to mention coming back up ice, it's basically a 5-on-3 there.
Yeah.
They were sprawled out. I think they were fortunate that Cretin had some trouble or miscommunication at the line. Chance for a 3-on-2 here. Duma right up the middle. Shot blocked, though. And the Raiders come back the other way. Carlson, though, nicely reads that one and gets the interception and flips it toward Patterson on the right wing. Patterson in the corner. Both guys go down. Patterson, though, quickly to his feet. And his pass toward Duma was tipped. And this one will pop back up and out of play here with 8:31 to go here in the second. No scoring in this period. It's still 1-1. The and the Trojans.
Well, much more fight back this period from the Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders in their own zone, Jay. There was that one shift that Wayzata had that really, but really they've been taking off balance in the offensive zone this period, much more so than the first period.
On the flip side, too, though, Raiders are getting virtually no chances of their own. Haven't had the puck in Wayzata's end of the rink all that much here in the second. Sorensen will ring it back in. Magnuson out quickly to stop it. Keeping possession there was Yannick. Now trying to get out wide. Gets it to Smith. Smith for Yannick behind the net. Puts it out front, and it's knocked away. Now Ness up with it here for Wayzata. Ness carries it in, shooting, but they're offside anyway. That shot sails over the net, and we'll get a whistle here. Bring the faceoff outside the Wayzata blue line.
Well, I think you made a good point about they're not getting many chances, but they got that score right where they want that score to be. And just to be within a goal, make it interesting, and then put the big push on here in the final parts of the game here. So right now they're more playing to keep it close than to get ahead. I don't think they feel they can go offensively toe-to-toe with Wayzata in a wide open game. Although with the way Magnuson's playing right now, I don't know. I wouldn't bet too much against him.
That puck deflects into the Cretin bench here, so get another draw coming up. Definitely more whistles this period too, which has helped to slow the pace of the game down and limit the chances a little bit, I think. Sendon facing off here with Kimberlin. Raiders win it. Turnaround try. Ooh, and that one tipped, but never quite made it to the net. Sendon leaving it for Schmidt. Schmidt teeing it up. Magnuson a stop. Big rebound, though. And now it's loose to Sendon. He turns and shoots, and that one deflects into the corner. Grant Anderson throwing it toward the net. Magnuson not going to take any chances. Puck was going well wide, but did not want to keep giving Wayzata another look at it there, so he'll get a face-off in the Raiders zone with 7:23 to play here.
He's just been outstanding tonight so far. Real stalwart, my gosh.
Off the face-off, Raiders win it. Pass up the middle was broken up. Schmidt comes up with it for Wayzata. Magnuson has that one get through him. Senden up with it now for the Trojans. Senden trying to send it back down low, but broken up, but they get it done on the second try. And now pass intercepted by Hartnell for Cretin. This is their best skating defenseman. Hugo Hartnell carries it right up the middle. Hartnell going to the net, but just tapped away by Sorensen. Then Hartnell crashes into the glass hard. Here's Greninger with Schmidt, 2-on-2. Greninger shooting, and that one sails through. Put out front for Stevens, a tip. Magnuson a save, rebound, save. And then Stevens a swing and a miss with an open net. And the Raiders able to clear it out. Near miss for the Trojans. And it's going to be an icing call against Cretin Derham Hall. Magnuson getting the kudos from his student section over there as he made two big saves, and then Stevens couldn't control a bouncing puck.
Watch this. Save. Save.
That was a tough one.
Save. Wow. And then he had to have a little bit of luck there to keep it out, but I'll tell you what, did a nice job. He's in good position, and the longer this goes, the more he's going to get in the head of the Trojans.
Back into the Wayzata zone. Hank Sorensen picking it up here. Tipped in, and Raiders back to pick it up. Wolf sending it right wing to Smith. And Yannick will dump it in. Kubinski stops it there for Wayzata. Smith coming up with the turnover here for the Raiders. Battling Kubinski, and eventually Wayzata gets to it. Now Batra trying to get to the outside. He's got good strength. Batra dragging it back to the middle. I don't think he saw Riley there. Probably could have flipped the pass over. Stevens trying to get control. Now Riley does. Turns and sends it wide of the net. Batra there first. Hank Sorensen avoiding a check there. Got it to Batra. Cross for Stevens. Stevens trying to wiggle his way free of that check. Riley jumping in to help out. Riley on the move. Comes out into the circle. Shot denied though. Nice block by Riley Wild. And back to the Wayzata line. Duma scrambles back up after falling and sends it in.
You know, there's been a lot of guys falling tonight. I'm wondering if something's going on with that ice, because I've seen a number of gentlemen falling down.
And a stop there by Schilling, and he'll hang on. So been a kind of an interesting period. Wayzata, I think, has really dominated the period in a lot of ways, but not able to get anything past and on Magnuson, and probably not as many really A-grade chances as they had in the first, but still definitely have had the better of things by far.
No question about it. We'll see how long this lasts. So you kind of think that the next one's going to be a big one here. Either way, whether it opens the door for the Trojans or opens the door for the Raiders all of a sudden. So, but we haven't. I mean, Schilling's looked good, but I don't know how many pucks he's actually touched so far in the Wayzata end.
At least by the shots on the board, only one shot on goal this period.
Jeepers.
Off the draw, Raiders get control, but nice step up by Anderson as he keeps that puck in. Greninger has it hop away over his stick. And floated out to center. Anderson gloves and drops there. And pushes it toward the net. Senden coming after it here as he takes a check. And they keep it in. Schmidt's pass deflecting away. Raiders right now, that's about what they've been reduced to for the most part in the second period, just trying to get the puck out.
Well, yeah, they're not that unhappy about that, Jay. I just can't believe they aren't. And the fact is, too, all the shots that Wayzata has taken directly at that net have been off angles. They've got nothing in the slot. Okay, so that takes away half the net right there because Magnuson's in such good position. So, you know, okay, I don't get it out. Just don't let Wayzata get that killing shot.
Fourth line getting another shift here for Wayzata. Urban, who scored the only goal for Wayzata. Can see why they have some confidence in this group. They've gotten it done in the last couple games. Interception there, and now a chance for the Raiders on the rush with Furlong, but not for long. Sorry, no pun intended there. Kubinski dumps it in wide of the Raiders' goal. Haugen trying to avoid Cassette, but he can't. Cassette looking out front for Ness. Oh, and just a touch behind him. Now Kubinski. Oh, and they lose it. Chance the other way. Oh, and a great reach by Colin Kubinski. He knew he'd made a mistake, but makes up for it by reaching out long to steal that pass. But a takeaway out front, or behind the net, and then out front. Weinberg shot those sailing over the top of the net as Furlong came up with that loose puck. Now a shot on pad saved by Schilling. First real pressure of the second period by the Raiders. Ness bringing it back out to center here for Wayzata. Cretin Hall looking to counter attack here. Carlson tipped it ahead and then sent back into the Wayzata zone. And a takeaway by Smith. Smith looking for the trailer. Shot blocked. Never made it to Schilling. Now Smith, though, again wins that puck back. And here's a nice job by Yannick, giving it to Smith. He is knocked down. Penalty coming up on Duma as he knocked Smith down from behind. Play goes on, though. And now a steal, and we'll get our penalty called. And Duma will be whistled for a trip. And so the Raiders will get the first power play here of period number 2.
We'll take a look at it here. I mean, Cretin putting some definite pressure on. And that's an interesting play, I'll tell you what, as he got into Smith there. So this is kind of what Cretin Hall's playing for, Jay. I would imagine this is they've had some opportunities here now, and now looks like they get a power play.
Short-handed 2-on-1. Here's Sorensen firing, and a pad save there by Magnuson. I'm sorry.
Got McMahon on the brain.
I know it. Puck thrown wide, and Magnuson will stop it here for the Raiders. Minute 50 to play in the second. Cretin Hall trying to capitalize on a power play after they've been kind of dominated here in the second. Radenbaugh back to pick it up. Riley Wild bringing it in. And knocked away and down the ice there by Anderson. Magnuson will pick it up. Gimberlin leading the rush here for Cretin Hall. Into the Trojan zone to the backhand. It's wide. He gets it back himself. Leaving it for Peterson, but Anderson checks him. Back out to the point. Back down for Peterson. They play it to the corner here. Under a minute to play in the period. Now bringing it out front. Trying to jam it in, and Schilling makes the stop there as John Gleason suddenly found himself with a little room and tried to sneak a backhander in from close range.
That's a big mistake by the Trojans there, just letting him get control coming out of there. And, you know, I realize they're man down, but boy, don't let a guy go in all alone all by himself. Make him give it up, but wow. Schilling had to be on his toes on that one.
And sometimes that can be a little tough for a goaltender to not see much work and then all of a sudden have to make a big save or two. Tipped ahead, and they just get it away from Greninger before he could head the other way, shorthanded. Here's Sendon working hard on the penalty kill. Sendon into the Raiders zone, but had it tipped away. Pass onto the stick of Furlong, leaves it for Smith, and knocked away by Sorensen. Got the puck and the body there, but couldn't get it out. Now they do. Drop back to Hank Sorensen. He sees plenty of room, especially on the Olympic rink, and able to dump it all the way down, and the penalty time is now over. So they kill it off. We stay at 1-1. Sorensen sends it back in, and right back out with it comes Haugen for Cretin. Puts a long one on net. Stick saved by Schilling. Centering pass. Here's a chance, and Schilling right before the horn stops Shane Furlong. That would have been huge for the Raiders, and Furlong shaking his head. Boy, the puck wound up on his stick with about 1 second to go, and he put a good shot on net just before the horn sounded.
Pretty open there, I'll tell you what.
So we have come to the end of period number 2. No scoring in that second, and we stay even up. Cretin Derham Hall 1, Wayzata 1. Our third period on the way here from Mariucci Arena on 12 Sports.
My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Hey, did you buy something from some gaming site?
What do you mean?
Yeah, look, there's a bunch of different charges on here.
Do you think someone stole our credit card information?
I don't know. That site sounds familiar, though.
Yeah, isn't that the site that Billy's on all the time?
You don't think.
Billy! Stop and think before you connect. Playing online is serious business. Visit dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect for tips on how to be safe online.
Same score on the second intermission as we had in the first, 1-1 in Cretin Derham Hall and Wayzata, as we get a look at our second period highlights, and not nearly as many chances in this one, although it was a very much a Wayzata dominated period. Here's Cretin Derham Hall getting one really good look at the net, and Schilling making a glove stop right there. And here's a good opportunity for Wayzata. One save, and then another, and then stop by Magnuson. Here's the one I was thinking of. It was a tip, and then the follow-up, and then the third try. Stevens kind of missed on a bouncing puck there. That was probably Wayzata's best opportunities of the period. Raiders a turnaround try there as we get a look at our scoring through 2 periods. Wayzata leading in shots, and in fact it was more lopsided than that even for a while until Cretin got a few late in the second. And you see just 2 penalties taken by Wayzata, 1 for Cretin. The Raiders did capitalize very early in the game on a power play. So our third period is on the way next. The Section 6 championship on the line here between the Raiders and the Trojans.
Sharing your passion starts with taking that first step. Take Will, for example. His first step was taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television. He's learning production skills and now has access to cutting-edge equipment. He's working on local music productions, meeting new people, and gaining experience needed to produce his own show. Best of all, he's sharing his passion for music with others in his community. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back here to Mariucci as we get set to drop the puck for period number 3. Jay Wilcox and Dan Ficken with you here for the Section 6 AA championship. Wayzata pretty much controlling play in that second period after a back and forth first, but not able to put anything past Mike Magnuson in the Cretin Derham Hall net.
Right now, Jay, I'd say advantage Cretin Derham Hall. They're just right where they want to be with this Wayzata team. That was a higher seed and favored, but boy, something's got to break this period.
And here we go in the third. Puck kicked in deep there. Yannick trying to get to it, but hammered right back out. Haugen sends it into Wayzata zone. Pass ahead comes to Duma left side. Duma into the offensive zone. Duma shooting, and pad save there by Magnuson. They can't get it out though. And now Sorensen and Smith battling for it there. Patterson comes away with it out for Nelson. Oh, and Magnuson right on it. Turnaround try here. Save, rebound, loose. And then the pass just fails to connect the other way for Yannick, or they might have had a pretty good opportunity for him. Yannick circling back and then gave it up. Here's the defenseman Sorensen leading the rush for Wayzata. Hank Sorensen flipping it back, but no, Stevens does a nice job with the stick to win that puck. Riley Wild controlling for the Raiders. Tipped ahead, but missed for Cal Peterson. Lindstrand back to play it. Anderson's pass gets out of the zone and now thrown right back in here by Cretin Derham Hall. A little trouble with the puck in the corner, but now Anderson gets it back to Batra. Batra stepping through a check. Got it around to Stevens, right back toward Batra, but his stick was lifted. Colin Schmidt playing it behind. Stevens looking to come out front with it. Turns and shoots, and Magnuson fighting that one off. Right back to Stevens it comes though, flips it in front. Huge collision, puck is loose. Play still goes on. Magnuson is down and out of the net, and the Raiders finally clear it. It just had the feeling that maybe there was going to be a whistle, but puck was never really covered and no penalty was called, so they had to just let it go. Magnuson is probably, for him, it probably felt like a half hour that it took to get back in there, but the Raiders fortunate that Wayzata couldn't get a clean stick on it. Here's Senden shooting, and Magnuson just barely got the pads closed in time on that one.
He's still looking cool, calm, and collected, though. But you know, I think Wayzata, they've got to get to another notch here. They've got to really pick it up and start winning the one-on-one, which they've started to do so far. Good opportunity there. Then it come back out front, and all of a sudden the Donnybrook starts.
Stevens ended up getting knocked over into Magnuson. And it almost looked like for a second, I'm not sure if it was Batra, it looked like he was tempted to try and knock it in with his glove and then thought the better of it. Because if they had seen it, obviously would not count. Kubinski knocks it away, trying to spring Greninger the other way. And it pops loose again, but couldn't get a stick on it. Long pass to an open wing there as the Raiders were changing, and then taken away though by Kirby Rice. Rice shooting, Schilling the save. And it comes free into the corner where Greninger gets it ahead now to Sorensen. Sorensen trying to go around the defenseman. He's hitting everything in sight as usual. Ness picks it up for Wayzata. Rice pulling it off the wall, but he met Cossette there. Now Haugen. And lost it. Ness comes up with that loose puck here for Wayzata. Takeaway though by Hartnell for the Raiders. Banks it to center and then dumped on in by Yannick. Lindstrand chasing it down here for the Trojans. Wayzata a 35-15 shots advantage, but the score is all that matters, and that says 1-1. Smith couldn't get around. Oh, Yannick, a great move. And he is knocked down. Smith almost falling down as he picks it up, gets it to Yannick, and then Ness intercepts that pass back toward the point. Ness was at the end of a shift, and he'll just dump it in and change. This one will come all the way around the horn. It's going to be icing against Cretin Derham Hall. That one got all the way around the boards and around and out.
Well, boy, I'll tell you, Jay, this is just all of a sudden the sticks are going to get gripped a little tighter. Some passes that might have looked real good earlier are going to get missed. It's going to come down to a mistake.
Off the draw, Raiders end up with it here. John Gleason sends it into the corner and gives chase. Carlson gets there first, getting it to Patterson. And a little trouble getting out of the zone, and then it's taken away and sent back in to the Wayzata end by Cal Peterson. They jump Carlson, but he spins away from trouble. Patterson trying to go to Nelson. That one broken up, but Nelson is still able to hammer it in. Duma hustling after it. Duma won that loose puck, but the pass out front was taken away, and the Raiders just have to clear it. Sorensen turns, tried to get it to Duma right up the middle, and now Patterson bringing it in. Patterson shooting, but missed the net. Long carom all the way back out. Knocked around Sorensen there.
Well, you're just watching it here really quick. I mean, the Trojans, not having that extra step or whatever, and there's always a Cretin Derham Hall player there. As soon as that mistake's made, boy, they're off to the races here.
This pass intercepted and brought out. Floated into the Cretin Derham Hall zone there by Grant Anderson, and he heads off to change. Takeaway by Batra, but down he goes. He will dump it into the Cretin Derham Hall zone. And right back out to center it comes. Here's Furlong. Goes around Kubinski, waiting for some help. Here's the trailer, but Kubinski got a piece of that. Now the pass ahead, a chance for a rush here, 2-on-2. Urban for Wayzata has Batra with him, but he lost it. Batra comes in to pick it up though, to Kubinski. Back down low, Urban to Batra. Batra turns with the backhand, and a nice save there by Magnuson, and he will hang on.
Earlier this year, we saw Batra pull that move off and score a goal on that backhand up in the short side high. He's trying to do the same thing.
It's a guy who's tough to take off the puck. He's just got good shoulders, good strength.
Yep.
And he came back, and that's definitely in this kind of game. That's a kind of shot you want to be able to take.
Yep. Absolutely.
No reason to hesitate.
Right now, any rubber on the net is good rubber. I don't care, because we're in a 1-1 game.
Carlson, the defenseman, drops it behind the net. Greninger trying to send it out front. Senden controls, shoots, and just wide of the mark. Greninger will be there first for Wayzata. Schmidt. Out front, shot on the goal. Senden buries it. And Wayzata's in front. Schmidt was patient, and Senden went down the middle and gets the puck.
Finally, the pretty play pays off, by gosh. Senden coming down the guts. Beautiful pass, feed on the backside. Bang. Runs it home. Nice pass right there. Is that Schmidt that got it to him?
Yeah.
Yep, Colin Schmidt got it to him. Look at that, right between the legs, on the stick. Caught the 5-hole of Magnuson. I didn't want to say McMahon, I'm sorry. Magnuson. And the Trojans break the tie here, go up 2-1.
Well, we'll see what that does to the complexion of this one if things open up again. As got an icing call here against Wayzata. So Senden getting his 9th goal of the year. And the captains for the Trojans, and a great feed too from the young sophomore Schmidt.
I don't think there has to be any panic right now on the Raiders' end. They're still within a goal. That's well within the parameters of where they want to be right now. Now, they're still one shot away, and then Jay, we've seen how effective they've been offensively. They very easily could turn one of those chances into a goal.
Peterson with it for the Raiders, trying to put it out front. It was blocked though by Grant Anderson, and he starts the rush for Wayzata. Knocked away though from Cassette, and here are the Raiders quickly counter. Shot, ooh, and a blocker save there by Schilling on a good attempt by Gleason. Carlson's pass hits the back of the net. Raiders trying to free it up, but Urban is there. And this will be an icing call against Wayzata as he ran out of room to dump that puck in, and Ness knew he was going to be hit there and kept it as long as he could, and then ended up icing it.
Well, good opportunity here coming up. Just rips it, used the defense a little bit as a screen, and got it on Stevens real fast, and Stevens got there in time, but you know, those are going to be all dangerous moves, and don't think for a minute the Raiders aren't going to, they're going to take every opportunity and get some rubber on.
Here's the pass, defenseman falls down, 2-on-0 and a goal. Billy Duma. 2-goal lead for the Trojans. A rare mishap defensively tonight for the Raiders, and Wayzata capitalizes in a hurry.
Well, we kind of talked it was going to break the front legs or what. It looks like it. Patterson with a nice play. Noticing Duma over there. I just beat him to the spot. Magnuson almost got there, but I think he was committed to Patterson taking the shot.
Yeah, when he's that close into you, you have to respect the shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a nice, unselfish play there by Patterson.
Yeah, that's the first time, like you said, the defense really lapsed there. They got caught.
And falling, too. I mean, obviously that was the killer, too, at that point. So just like that, it goes to a 2-goal Wayzata lead. Here's Riley bringing it up the left side here for the Trojans. Centering pass here comes just wide. Sorensen will get an assist, as will Patterson. They said Senden, but I'm quite certain it was Patterson who had that puck.
Absolutely.
19 instead of 18. Yep. But now it's Smith coming back the other way for the Raiders. Can they all of a sudden generate some offense after not having much in the second or this period? Here's Senden firing. And Magnuson just had to make a tough stop there and fought that one a little bit. Trojans really flying right now. You know, they kept working at it. A lot of things weren't necessarily working in terms of good chances for them for a while, but now they're feeling it offensively.
Just a great shot there. That kind of jumped up on him real quick, and he couldn't control it. He hasn't been giving up many rebounds or anything like that, Jay. They've had to really beat him clean.
Greninger to the net, and it went off a skate and just trickled wide. Back to Kubinski. Here's Schmidt setting up behind the net. Schmidt will cycle it now for Senden. Senden trying to go to Greninger instead of the point. Kubinski, big pad save there and kicked out to the corner. And an interception by Senden. All Wayzata right now. Greninger back to Senden. Senden behind the net, flips a pass for Schmidt. Follow-up try, save, rebound, save. Wayzata putting on pressure. Greninger, a great shot in, but a stave, and then the net must have been off. And Schmidt ended up shooting it into the net much after the whistle, which...
That got a few people's attention, but boy, I'll tell you, the pressure there. Good backhand there. Send him back at it again. And nice takeaway there. Oh my gosh, beautiful by Greninger.
Oh, there's the net coming off right there. Okay.
Yeah.
And they are going to call Schmidt for a penalty for shooting that puck into the net.
That was kind of dumb. Sophomore mistake there, man. You got him down by 2 goals. Don't give him an opening. And you remember in the first period, the first power play that the Raiders got, they took full advantage of.
Well, with the score and where we're at time-wise and the way this game is going, Cretin almost has to score here, I would think, to have a decent shot. They get a great opportunity, though, with the penalty taken there by Schmidt. So here's Hartnell starting. He'll leave it for Smith. Smith able to chip it into the Wayzata zone. Carlson to it first. Out to the point, they'll keep it in. Now Smith. Back across. Haugen making a move to the middle. Here's a trial. Wide open net, and Furlong unable to bury it. He swung and missed from about a foot away. Well, is that a huge sigh of relief there, because that one should have been a goal.
He's going to be seeing that one in his dreams for the next month or two.
Pass a little too far there, and Sorensen up with it, and he'll flip it all the way down. And Senden able to dig it free here, shorthanded. Raiders get it back, but some valuable time wasted there as Senden came up strong. Now move toward the net. Batra coming back nicely to help out after Kubinski tried to line him up and missed him. Back out high, now into the circle they'll come with it. Peterson gets the return, a very bad angle shot there that'll carry him wildly to the other side. Gimberlin trying to put it out front. Batra got a piece of it, and then Kubinski up with it. And he's just going to softly float it down into the corner as they change.
So far, Wayzata with a pretty good penalty kill, with the exception of that one glaring opening.
Off a skate, here's a chance. And Schilling making a great save, and then the net comes off as Yannick got that one around the defenseman. He didn't really have much room to do much with it. It was still a very dangerous chance, though. And Schilling stands his ground and makes the save.
No, and this is the one guy that you really don't want letting loose out there, Yannick. He's just got some great moves. You see that golden opportunity there. Oh, my gosh.
And Sorensen trying to get back into it. Yannick.
Boy, nice leg save there by Stevens on Yannick.
Penalty time is now over, so the Trojans able to kill it off. Smith. He'll turn and dump it in here for the Raiders. Schilling leaving it for Kubinski. Ness gets to center, and they'll send it in. Magnuson stopping it behind the net. Interception there by Weinberg, and now Yannick. Follow up here is Haugen. Ooh, and it bounced away from Schilling and then up in the air. And he's able to make the stop and hang on.
Well, Schilling's starting to hold up his end of the bargain now. You know, as we were talking, Jay, he hasn't been real busy most of this night, and all of a sudden we're getting back into it now. They're coming after him a little bit more, and they have to. They got to go after it. And those backhands are tricky little deals there, I'll tell you. Goalies can't read it off the stick. They can read a forehand, but they can't read a backhand, and they tend to bounce and flip-flop on you. And when you think you got it in your glove, all of a sudden it rolls out.
Carlson up with it here off the draw. He's knocked down as he got it at least into the Cretin zone. Pass floated ahead. Sorensen trying to come up with it. And now Ness leads the rush here for Wayzata. Ness will flip it back around. Carlson, the defenseman, steps in, plays it to the corner. Nelson using his body. Jowett comes out of there with it here for the Raiders. Get a little tangled up at center there. And he'll keep it in now. Relays it around behind, looking for Furlong. Furlong, here's a tip to the weak side, and Schilling just got a piece.
Ooh.
Pretty good setup there by Cretin Derham Hall.
Desperation move by Schilling, too. Very awkward comeback on the far side. He was doing his best to get there.
Smallage picks it up here. 4:10 to play in the hockey game. Wayzata 3, Cretin Derham Hall 1. Trojans looking to advance to state for the first time since 2013 and fourth time ever. Behind the net, here's Duma. Gonna relay it around, looking for Grant Anderson. He'll send it right back to Duma. Duma dropping it off to Nelson. Behind the net, they'll come again. They continue to work back there. And a takeaway by Duma. Actually, that was Stevens behind the net. Duma up with it. His pass hits a skate. He gets it back, fires. Magnuson the save. And chopped on out. Wayzata right now figuring the best defense is a good offense. They have continued to attack. They've been sound too, but as long as they keep the puck in the Raiders zone, no chance for Cretin Durham Hall to come back in this one.
Well, if you're not covered in front of that net, you might as well take the shot.
Penalty coming up right here. I get a cross-checking call, looks like against Duma. Or do we have
it might
one
be
aside?
Two
Yeah, looks like we have one aside.
Yeah.
Right there we
you
get
go.
the slash. So they also take Gimberlin.
Boy, not a smart play. They had it. They got a power play going and just let a little frustration get out after him. And so they'll still be 5-on-5 here now. I wouldn't be surprised, Jay, within the next, it says 3 minutes now, gets down to about 2.5. They might pull the goalie and give it around. They're 2 goals down. They got to get something rolling here quickly.
And he's coming off right now.
There we go.
Good call, Dan, as Magnuson heads to the bench. So Wayzata an empty net to shoot at. Cretin an extra attacker on. Smith lost control. And the Trojans can't get a look at the net, though. Smith dumping it back out to center. Now it comes back to him. Smith will chip it into the corner. Sendon throwing a check. Carlson takes a bump there. But stays with it. Knocked away, and Sendon trying to bank it out. It's kept in, though. They look for the tip out front, but intercepted and then banked around to Greninger. His pass now kicks out to center. And a takeaway here. Greninger, though, down he goes before he could wind up and take one at the empty net.
It's kind of, getting that breath caught up on you all of a sudden, noticing you got the puck, I got an empty net. Oops, I fell down.
Sorensen sending it around. It trickles out to center. Takeaway here. And walking in is Riley for the empty netter. And that should seal it.
There you go, your proverbial dagger. Looks like the Trojans have sealed the deal here to go to state here. I've been watching the coaching staff on the Trojans bench too. They're not going yay, yippee, ki-yo, whatever. They're doing instructions to their players now to what they got to do. But a nice pickup here. Dylan Riley, who's been their leading scorer throughout the section so far. Just a nice bit. Good, hard-working kid. Has been a, kind of a charger and energizer bunny here for them during the sections, and he gets the open net goal to seal the deal.
So a 4-1 lead here. Wayzata didn't fold it in after all those chances in the second. Didn't amount to anything, and now they put 3 on the board here in the third. Centering pass broken up. Urban across to Ness. Ness, a long high shot, sails over the top. And now comes to Mike Murphy, getting a shift here for the Raiders. Takes a hard check from Carlson. And Kubinski comes up with the loose puck for Wayzata. And a float one out to center, looking for a cassette. Under a minute to play here till a section title for Wayzata. Hartnell's shot goes wide. Sorensen getting it to Batra. Rush up ice here, and a nice move to the front. Oh! Boy, Riley wasn't satisfied with that empty netter. That was a heck of a move.
I want more. Oh, nice move.
Well, and Pat O'Leary told us before the game, we want to be fresh in the third. We're going to skate hard, skate 3, and even 4 lines sometimes. And boy, it's really turned out that way right now. They have more juice left, it looks like, than the Raiders. There's Stevens throwing a hit. Sorensen picks it up. Under 10 seconds to go. The countdown to a section title for Wayzata. And for the 4th time in school history, the Wayzata Trojans headed to the state tournament.
The proverbial pig pal. I don't like those things, Jay. If somebody gets smothered underneath, you know, but boy, great job by Pat O'Leary and his staff. Good game strategy, knew what they were doing, played it to perfection to get themselves a state. Did a nice job. Cretin Derham Hall, I'll tell you what, they introduced themselves to Section 6 really well this year and knocked off the #1 team in the state. I thought they played a good game tonight. Jay, just wasn't quite enough there in the 3rd period.
After the start they had to their season to do as well as they ended up doing and get to the section final was a great performance by them. And like you said, when it was 1-1, they were still feeling good. But Wayzata, very strong 3rd period. They really controlled play for most of the 2nd and 3rd periods. And they end up putting 45 shots on net, and 4 of them go in. So congratulations to the Wayzata Trojans, the Section 6 champs. We'll be back and have more of our coverage here of the 6AA title game on 12 Sports in just a moment.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back here to Mariucci. A great night to be a Wayzata Trojan as they win it 4-1 over Cretin Derham Hall to advance to the state tournament. Joined by a couple of guys that helped to get it done here tonight. Mark Senden, how much fun was this night to be a part of?
Oh, it was just so much fun. It was just unbelievable atmosphere, everything like that with the fans, and just the way we played. I was so happy with it, and we were finding a W. So it's undescribable of how excited I am and how happy I am for our team and everything like that.
You guys really pretty much controlled play a lot of the way, but their goaltender was real tough. Were you starting to get nervous a little bit when it stayed 1-1 so long?
I wouldn't say I got nervous. I just know we had to keep pumping away, keep shooting the puck and everything like that, and just stick to the game plan that we had out for these guys, and it paid off in the end. So.
A lot of people didn't really know much about Cretin in this section, obviously, and they kind of pulled a surprise by beating Benilde. Was it tough or fun to prepare for a team that you didn't really know?
I would say it's pretty fun because, we didn't see them in the season at all and everything like that. So we were both going in blind, both our teams. So, it was just fun to see what we had and everything like that. And, both teams are going to give it all. And, I'm just excited we were out on top.
You guys have a real deep team and a good lineup. How do you feel about your chances now heading into the state tournament?
I feel good about our chances as long as we stay to our game plan and everything like that, which I know we will. So I'm just pumped for it. See where we go.
Congratulations, Mark. Have fun in the state tournament.
Yep, thank you.
And Billy Duma also getting a goal here this evening. And, how much does this mean for some of you guys, especially seniors that have played together for so long?
Well, I think it's really special because, no one on the team has even played here. So even tonight was just a very good eye-opening opportunity for a lot of us. And like Mark said, the atmosphere is phenomenal. And I think we're all just really excited to be still alive and going on to the next phase.
We talked about after the first period, it was 1-1, but it could have easily been a lot higher score. Both goalies really stood on their head. Did it surprise you that there were so many chances in that first period like that?
Well, we kind of came out strong against Edina last game, and we just couldn't find the back of the net. Their goalie came out strong, but we just stuck to the game plan, kept getting pucks to the net, and finally they're going to go in. So we just got to believe, and that good things happen to teams that work hard.
Quite a few highly ranked teams were knocked off on Saturday in the section semis. A lot of people feeling the state tournament's pretty wide open now, and are you guys thinking, hey, why not Wayzata?
Yeah, right now we're just taking it one game at a time, so whoever we get in our first game next Wednesday or Thursday, whenever it is, we're going to be preparing for that, and after that, what happens, happens. We're just excited to play, like I said, and everyone's really proud of each other right now and just really happy to be here, so that's
a lot of good sports teams in your school, but making it to state in hockey kind of is right up there with any of them, I would guess. You know, how much fun is that to represent your high school heading into St. Paul?
Oh, it's unreal. I mean, everyone knows that the state high school hockey tournament is the biggest thing in Minnesota, and I'm so excited to play for it. I can't even describe it with words right now. Like, I have no idea what to expect, but everyone that's ever played it before us, like, they say it's the best thing ever. So I'm just really happy to play in it.
Congratulations, Billy, and have fun. Go celebrate with your teammates here.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Billy Duma getting a goal tonight for Wayzata. They win at 4-1. So for the fourth time in school history, the Trojans will be playing in the state tournament over at the XL Center this time, of course, in 2016. Congratulations to Cretin for making a nice run to get to this point. But the Trojans will move on and play in that state AA tournament. Final score here tonight from Mariuccia, Wayzata 4 and Cretin Durham Hall 1. For Dan Ficken and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. So long from the Twin Cities.